Hello, Dating Poo Blog. I'm trying my second video out. My first one was a practice run, but we'll see how this one goes. I basically want to let you guys know that I am an author. I have a dating pool blog on Facebook and is under my name, Author Kharisma. And I invite many, many people to join our conversations. We have many nice, enlightening conversations, things that are emotional, things that are intimate, things that are thought provoking for our members and people who are looking in from the outside. So I really do encourage everyone to check out the blog and to participate in the discussions. Today's show, I wanted to focus on one particular topic that I addressed before on my dating pool blog. And the question was, with the way that relationship and marriage trends are going today, what is to become of romantic love in the near future? Is there a future for relationships? Let's just be honest up front. Today, marriage is not a normal trend. Successful marriage is not a normal trend. People marry, they separate, and they divorce so quickly, much more quickly than 50 years ago during my parents' time. And the question is, why is it now that we are having these relationship issues, male and female relationship issues, whereas in the past, things went much more smoothly? This is a topic that is also pretty general and pretty broad, and you could make a lot of different points to explain it. I think one of the main points is that back in the day when my parents were growing up, 50 something years ago, it was expected that when you became a high school graduate, when you were finishing up high school, you were expected to have a mate and to be in the process of getting married. And shortly after that, you were to have children. And shortly after that, your children grew up and did the same thing. It just repeated the cycle. However, somewhere around my generation, there was a disconnect with this belief. Around the 70s, I think what happened was we had a lot of dynamics in society that helped to break up the male-female bond. You had women going to work, men going in the military. You had fatherless homes where the woman worked, she came home, and she was the male and the female role model for that child. Whether the child was male or female, they got their perception of what a leader was, not only from, maybe their male relatives, but they got it from mom because mom was the leader of the household. Father was absent, or father may have died. Father may have been in the military and gone a lot. It's many different scenarios that help to change the way things are today in the time we live in today. And so during the 70s, you still had a semblance of a family structure, but it was starting to break apart. And now we're in 2011, and I would say that it's even more broken up than ever before. So the question is, do relationships have a future? And I think that they do. However, it's not going to be a very easy task. I think that we need to come together, males, females, women, men, and discuss these issues. Discuss how our past has influenced our present and our future, and how to get over that hump. How do you move past what has happened in history that literally had nothing to do with you, but it's affecting you in your dating, in your marriages, and ultimately with your divorce? As a single woman, of course, I want to marry one day, have a nice, successful relationship with a man. And I hope to never, ever have to divorce or repeat that process with a second person. That's just, I have the same old fashioned standards that my parents had. But with the way things are today, you really don't know what's going to happen with your relationship because the foundation has been pretty much ripped apart. You have to be very careful who you deal with, who you date, who you marry, and make sure that their values, their morals, even when it comes down to child rearing, when it comes down to career, when it comes down to roles in the home, it must be meshed together. It must be similar. It cannot be totally different. For instance, I believe that women today have as much of a role in the household and in the leadership as a male. However, there are some people who believe that the male should take full leadership of the household and the woman should follow that lead. Not that I don't agree you should not follow. However, I believe that the woman may lead in certain dynamics of the relationship. For instance, if she's good with finances, where the man may lead in another way. He's good with fixing cars, or he's good with doing his particular job trade that he works on. So I think in order to maximize the strength of a relationship, you must take both parts from both people and put them together to make a nice bond, a nice situation where you have children growing up in a productive home with good communication, with good trust, loyalty, all of those character traits that we look for in people. It must first start with the individual, then it comes together with the marriage of two people, and then it passes along to our children. So you must be careful in who you choose for this union. So those are my thoughts about marriage and the trends today. And I don't think it's hopeless. I think that it's hard work that has to be done. And I think if people really do get over themselves, their egos, they can move past that barrier and have productive relationships. Thank you for joining me. Again, I must ask that you leave comments, questions, opinions. Keep them respectful, please, and I will respond to them. Thank you for joining me.